Good morning.
Good morning. I like your shorts.
You want them?
No.
Oh, okay. Thank you. They're nice and cool. We need to be cool today, as in not hot type cool. Good morning.
Morning.
Everybody going to the boat races? No. Actually, it's actually turned into quite a nice function. You know, family type function, but it's just always hot. It's the reason I never go. I always have a choice every year. I can go get in free and work and everything, but it's just too hot. New calendar for January, August. There's probably one coming sooner or later. Thank you, Josie. Josie is doing an amazing job here. Article on the back. Stuff going on today. We have a guest speaker. It actually even says who it is here. I won't tell you because it's on here, so we'll forget that. Hypnosis, group hypnosis tomorrow. Or today. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. With Sharon. Is Sharon going to do that tomorrow? We don't know? Okay. Call her. It's on the calendar. Jan's going to do a writing class on Wednesday. Tuesday. Mind Shifters on Wednesday. And all kinds of stuff. Hey, we have a picnic, and it's scheduled for September. It's not Labor Day, but it's like the first Sunday, which I think is the 7th, something like that. So picnic, Columbia Park, be there, fun, good stuff. And do what?
Columbia Park.
Actually, you're right. It's not even Columbia Park. It's actually at the park there next to Anthony's. Yeah, right next to Anthony's. Columbia Point. That's it. Thank you. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. How's that? Apparently I've got a really great life going here. I make lots of mistakes. Lots of mistakes. Social Security for women, Tuesday night, Kennewick Library, 6 to 8. If you're interested, here's the article. I'll be giving a little talk about Medicare afterwards, so if you're interested in that, that's sitting right there. We do have a couple patron saints, John Lennon and George Carlin.
Hey, John.
And you know, we like these guys, or liked them when they were alive for sure, but because they always questioned authority, never took no for an answer, and always figured out a way. So that's kind of cool. John, living is easy with eyes closed. Misunderstanding all you see. And George, well, there you go. There are 400,000 words in the English language, and there are 7 you can't say on television. Some of you have heard these. What a ratio, 399,993 to 7. They must really be bad. They must be outrageous to be separated from a group that large. All of the words over there use 7 bad words, and that's what they told us, right? You know what they are. You know what they say on what they're not supposed to say on TV, and I'm not going to tell you because you know them anyway. So, remember that when he came out? He just had such a good time with that one. So, a little boy got lost at the YMCA and found himself in the women's locker room. When he was spotted, the room burst into shrieks with ladies grabbing towels and running for cover. The little boy watched in amazement and then asked, "What's the matter? Haven't you ever seen a little boy before?" Yeah. Policeman talking to a little 6-year-old girl. While taking a routine vandalism report at an elementary school, I was interrupted by a little girl about 6 years old looking up and down at my uniform. She asked, "Are you a cop?" "Yes," I answered, and continued writing the report. "My mother said if I ever needed help, I should ask the police. Is that right?" "Yes, that's right," I told her. "Well then," she said, as she extended her foot forward, "would you please tie my shoe?" Cute. Okay. Yes, you're right. This has nothing to do with church, but I like doing this, and it helps everybody relax and kind of get a chuckle. Remember, when everyone seems normal until you get to know them. And if you can't fix it with a hammer, you've got an electrical problem. And do not do this. By the way, this is another one of those things. Do not do. Daily thoughts. Some people are like slinkies. Not really good for anything, but they bring a smile to your face when you push them down the stairs. Yes, it's true. I'm probably going to get in trouble for that one. Oh yeah, she's already shaking her head in the back. Things that make you go, No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Eleanor Roosevelt. Observe due measure, for right timing is in all things the most important factor. Hesiod, 700 BC. Smart people back then. George Washington rejected a movement among army officers to make him the king of the United States, saying, I didn't fight George III to become George I. That is true. That is true. And this was kind of interesting. Until the locomotive came along, there were no land vehicles able to haul heavy loads at low cost. Seamen, on the other hand, were handling bulky freight long before the beginning of the Christian era. Transportation was dominated by ships for so long that our vocabulary was permanently affected. We still ship goods, whether sent by ship, train, truck, or plane. So, never thought of that way. It's true, though. I'm going to try, having problems with the computer, so I'm going to try to do our song first, and I'm going to try to show you where we're going for our guided meditation. It may or may not work. But actually, Jan asked me where I wanted to go for my guided meditation, and I said, Mediterranean, Monaco. She goes, why Monaco? I said, well, it's beautiful and serene, and then, Formula One racing. Those engines, 15 to 20,000 RPM, unimaginable, unimaginable.
They're not electric.
They aren't, but there is an electric Grand Prix coming out later this year, early next year. They're going to actually be racing electric Grand Prix cars. Cool. How do you decide who to marry? Little kids. Alan, age 10. You got to find somebody who likes the same stuff. Like if you like sports, she should like it that you like sports, and she should keep bringing the chips and dip. Kristen, age 10. No person really decides before they grow up who they're going to marry. God decides it all way before, and you get to find out later who you're stuck with. Could be true. Okay, Irish cemetery. 3 Irishmen, Paddy, Sean, and Seamus, of course, were stumbling home from the pub late one night, found themselves on the road which led past the old graveyard. Come over here, look here, says Paddy. It's Michael O'Grady's grave. God bless his soul. He lived to the ripe old age of 87. That's nothing, says Sean. Here's one named Patrick O'Toole. It says here he was 95 when he died. And just then, Seamus yells out, good God, here's a fella who's got to be 145. What was his name, asked Paddy. Seamus stumbles around a bit, kind of tipsy, awkwardly lights a match to see what else is written on the stone marker, and exclaims, Miles from Dublin. It's enough of that, right? Yeah. Wow, I'm getting good at this. All right, like I said, we're going to try to do this song. I hope it'll work. We'll find out. Walking on Sunshine. And if it doesn't work here, I have no idea where the music is, other than population density. Actually, it's Monaco. 42,000 people per square mile. That's because it's a city-state. The entire country can actually fit inside Central Park. We have...
This is a long time coming. We had a board member who relinquished their board position, and we have yet to acknowledge their wonderful dedicated time and energy. So Barry Long, would you please come up and get your...
step. That's a bear hug. Yep. All right. Oh, Jan, did you want to do this while you're here or not?
I
Or
can.
just because? May as well.
Okay. We're still trying to get all the little details together so we can get the ladies' restroom remodeled. We had several colors for the walls in the stall, and one out, and there was quite a few comments of, I don't like any of these, can we try some more? So sending that around again. The winner from last time is on the top, and then the two new contenders are next to that. So if you would be so kind, if you're female, and go in the ladies' room, you have a right to vote. If you've already voted on the previous batch,
We're excluded.
please vote again. We need to know what you like. Okay? And we'll do our best to fulfill your choices there.
And if nobody can come up with a census, we'll have our granddaughter make a choice.
No, we won't.
Jan, you're standing right there. Why don't you introduce our guest speaker? How's that for unusual?
We have a guest speaker, and unfortunately, it's really hard for me to introduce this person without tears in my eyes because I adore him. I think he's one of the most marvelous people in the world. He lives what he believes. And you know, that's really cool in my book. So whether you believe the same thing as he does or not, it doesn't matter. The point is this man is a man of integrity, a man of his word, and a man of honor. Please welcome Christpher Turner.
That was way better than my introduction.
Phil, you're fired. Good morning. Awesome. It's boat rate weekend. Wow. I was not here yesterday. I got up in the morning, got my truck, put my fishing pole in the truck, and I headed up to Tucannon. Yeah, it was beautiful. Saw a deer, picked blackberries. Last night I had ice cream, vanilla ice cream with blackberries on it to die for. It was really good. What am I going to talk about this morning? There's quite a few things that go through my mind as I drive here, but you know, last night when I got back and being up in the Tucannons, I didn't think about anything. I was just staying in the present, staying in the moment, just really enjoying being there. I've really kind of been running really hard for the past couple of months, and actually the past 2 weeks have been, my schedule's just been crazy, so I really needed to get away. I needed to break. So when I do that, I literally take time off. I check out, so to speak, and I don't worry about I don't worry about tomorrow anyway. It's not going to happen until it happens, so why worry about it? But I really just got into the moment, and it was really, really nice to just be up there. I love being up there and being that close to nature. Yeah, I caught some fish, little guys, let them go. You know, that I didn't bother taking anything out. But I really just enjoyed my time there. And as I was driving here this morning, when I really thought about what I thought was really something I should talk about today is just being in the moment, being here now. And so this morning, you know, before I got dressed, you know, I ironed my clothes and I went out and put water. I've got tomatoes growing and some herbs growing, so I go out and put water, all of those things. And I was getting ready to leave, and I looked up on my bookshelf and I saw, guess what I saw? The Power of Now. So I picked it up and I went, gee, I highlight things in here when I read books. You know, I yellow highlight, sometimes I don't. It's really interesting, but I'll just pick this out here. It goes, through self-observation, more presence comes into your life automatically. The moment you realize you are not present, you are present. I'm going to say that again because that's really, it's an easy sentence to read. You go right by it. But if you really think about it for a minute, the moment you realize you are not present, you are present. Okay, so the moment you really realize that, you're observing yourself. And so whenever you're able to observe your mind, you are no longer trapped in it. Another factor here comes in, something that is not of the mind. It is called the witnessing presence. The witnessing presence. So how important is it to be in the moment? It's talked about a lot. I think Eckhart Tolle has done a marvelous job writing about it. Ram Dass wrote about it, Be Here Now. There's a lot of material that's out there on being in the moment, being present, being in this space, and being aware of being in this space. But how easy is it to do? I would like to submit it's not that easy to do. We tend to project where we're going to go, where we have to be, what time we have to be there, what do we have to bring, who's going to be there, have I got the right stuff, and we project a lot. And then we worry. After we've done all the projecting, well, I went there, I got there, this is what I said, was it good enough, did they like it, oh no, I don't know, maybe not, maybe so, who's going to tell me, nobody will tell me, and yeah, I know it goes on and on and on. And while we're doing all of this stuff, it makes sense that we're doing this. We're reviewing and we're evaluating and we're anticipating and we're doing all of these things, but we're not, are we in the moment? Are we in the present moment while we're doing all of that? I tend to think we're not. I tend to think, as I'm standing right here, I'm in the present moment, and if I look this way, that's my past. And if I look that way, that's my future. And I think what we do a lot is, even though we're standing in our present moment, because you're in the present moment, you cannot not be in the present moment. But what we do a lot when we're in it is this. And as long as we're doing that, we're missing this. And this is where we truly experience life. Now, there's something I read a long time ago. A lot of people that are adrenaline junkies, they like to live life on the edge. There's something about having that type of experience that brings you, focus you into the moment, because you could snuff out really quickly when you do some of those really crazy things. So people get really addicted to that. What are they addicted to? They are addicted to the adrenaline, or are they addicted to the... Yeah, you never know. Are they addicted to being in the present moment? Think about that for a minute. How many of you have had a close scrape in a car accident or something? Okay, what was happening in that moment when it happened? Did you feel a little bit more alive? Did all of a sudden you become very, very focused on what was happening? Your sixth senses kick in, body movements take over, you didn't even have to think about them, everything goes boom, 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 boom. That's what happens when you're in the present moment. You don't have to have a near life scrape or experience to experience that. You can step into your present moment right now, right here. Just like that. Just like that. You can step into it. Do we? We say we are going to. Many times we want to. We're a group. This group here is very, very well informed, well read. I know there's a lot of really good stuff that any one of you can get up here and talk about. So we're all pursuing truth. We're all pursuing spirituality. We're all pursuing those things. But how often do we get in the moment? Stop Just breathe and be. There's something to be said about the early morning hour when you first wake up. If you can take that particular time frame and just relax, being with yourself, being who you are, don't review, don't anticipate, simply just be. If you can start doing something like that, you'll find yourself being much happier. Okay? Yeah? Because when you're in the present moment, you're really alive. And when you're really alive in the present moment, there's no room for being depressed. There's no room for being upset. There's no room for all of the emotions that we go through. I could list them all off, but if we think about every single emotion that we go through, are we living in the present when we're going through that emotion? Or are we upset about something that's happened? Are we depressed about something that might happen? When you really look at some of those emotions, none of them are really based with you living in the present. They're generally related to something that's either happened in the past or something that's going to happen in the future. So to be in the present moment really just takes being still. Being still and just being with who you are. And you are spiritual beings. You're spiritual beings. Be with that. Relax with that. You don't have to struggle with it or fight with it. It just be, and it happens. You know, I gave a talk, was it last week? I can't remember now, at TriCom. And I'd known about this talk coming up for, maybe about 3 or 4 weeks. I didn't think a whole lot about it because I tend not to do that when I give talks. And I just showed up. And it went really, really, really well. It just happened. And somebody asked me, oh, wow, bless you. Somebody asked me, did you do a lot of prep for that? And I said, well, I was thinking about it, but I don't really prep. What I like to tell people is I show up. I want to be in the moment. Because when I'm in the moment, I'm more authentic. And whatever I say when I'm in the moment is more authentic. And maybe some of the things that I believe and some of the way I see things might differ from how you see it, and that's okay. I mean, everybody, we all have our own perspectives, and there's not a single perspective in this room that's incorrect. Everybody's perspective is correct. What's wonderful is when you realize that and you take the time to understand the other person's perspective, and you open up wonderful, wonderful waves of communication when you do that. So sometimes I know I say things that might be, well, maybe out there for some people, but for me, that's my perspective. That's how I see life. That's how I see this planet. I really believe there'll be peace on this planet. If you look at the world stage right now, it's hard to see. There's a lot that's going on. There's a tremendous amount that's going on. I've always said that everything happens for a reason. I don't always know what the reason is. And I'm okay with that. Some people, they're not okay with that. They gotta find out what the reason is. I gotta know why this is happening. Okay, well, that's what you have to do, but not for me. I'm okay with it. I don't think there's any accidents in the cosmos or in the universe. And I think this is just one place out of many places where there's life in the cosmos or the universe. I don't think it's just associated with this planet. So I have a lot of things going around off in my head, but most of this stuff that always comes back to being in the present, being where I'm standing, being able to experience what I'm experiencing. And I'll take you back to yesterday when I was in the Toucan. There I am. I'm standing in the Toucan. It's not a very deep river, you know. Sometimes I wonder why they don't call it a stream or a brook. It's not any wider than the church here. Most of the times it's a lot smaller. So I'm standing in the middle of the stream, and the sun is shining, and it's on the water, and it looks like gold. You know, it just looks like shimmering gold. And I almost feel like, yeah, maybe I could just walk on this and go into some other dimension or something. It was just really beautiful. And to be able to experience that in that moment, wow, it was truly it was healing. As a warder, I had sneakers on, no socks, shorts, so the water's just coming up to about here on me, and I'm standing there. As the water's going by, it felt very healing to me. Very healing. Was it healing? In that moment, for me, it was. It was. When you're with another person, when you're talking with another person, are you in that present moment with that person? Are you sharing that space? Or are you got a lot of other things, stuff, if you will, going on in your mind about how you're going to respond to what they're saying, or thinking about, oh gee, I forgot to pick up the eggs. I better get that after I leave here. Yeah. Are you really present with that person? You know, our divorce rate is pretty high. It's come down a little bit. Oh, by the way, Tuesday, my 36th wedding anniversary. I spent a lot of in the moments with Nancy, let me tell you. But yeah, it's really interesting how I just lost my other thought, but that's okay. I'm not going to chase it. It's really interesting when you allow yourself to do that. When you are working with another person, it came back. The divorce rate's really high. If we were, for the married couples, if they were really truly in the present with each other, our divorce rate would come way, way down. It would come way down. It's amazing how people can get turned off because something said or not said, or maybe thought it was this way when it really wasn't. It's that communication, that being present in the moment with the other person. We could bring that divorce rate way down. We could end all of the wars on the planet if people would truly be in the moment with each other. If they were truly in the moment with each other. I think that's going to happen. I want to see the borders of the nations of the world come down. Yeah, I'd like to see that. So let me leave you with something. It's about being happy. Everybody knows the Just Be Happy song, right? I mean, it went viral on Facebook, I believe, right? How many people have Facebook in here? Wow. How many people have Facebook in here? So, yeah, all hands. Wow. So how many people have Facebook, but they don't have it, but their spouse does, so they have Facebook? Yeah. I thought there were some of those. And then I have some of my grandkids, they don't have Facebook on a computer, but it's on their phone, you know. So if you got a phone, it's there. So let me read this. I thought this was really wonderful. This world of ours has become fast-paced and moving increasingly faster each day. No longer do we wait for the news from across the globe. It's almost instantaneously fed to us over the internet and through our television sets. Our cities are bustling hubs of busy folks, many of whom feel the need to rush to each new appointment as if their lives depended on it. Now, I don't know about you, but I have fit this description to a T more than once in my life. Countless individuals go through their day in fear of the unknown, or in anger, sadness, or despair. The truth is that even though you cannot control all the events in your life, you do have control over how happy you feel. You can control that. You can control how you feel. It takes a lot of energy to choose to be happy. The path of least resistance, of course, is to be miserable. In fact, it's far easier to mope and complain about circumstances and other people instead of deciding to be content with your life, to be content with who you are, to be content with how your life has proceeded, to be content with the choices you have made. No one has made them for you, only you. But are we content with who we are? When you choose to be happy, you are deciding to become a beacon of optimism. That will affect not only you, but your immediate environment, also other people with whom you come in contact with each day. So how many of you have friends that always seem to be up, always seem to be happy, and it's always a joy to be around them? Correct. I had an aunt. She's passed, still with me though. I have a big family that just follows me around. But this was my Aunt Dee Dee. Aunt Dee Dee, if you get a picture of Aunt Jemima, the pancake lady, that was how my Aunt Dee Dee looked. I can truthfully say, that was 3 I should say, I can't remember a day I saw her unhappy. I can't remember a day I saw her unhappy. She was always a spirit of joy, always a spirit of giving, always a spirit of happiness. That was my Aunt Dee Dee. When I came out west, I left in the 60s. Yeah, I'm that old. Because I'm from Connecticut, if you don't know. Well, when I came out here, I went to California. I had a little bug-eyed Austin Healey Sprite. Really neat little car. Had rebuilt the engine, Phil stuck it in there, yeah. I don't do that stuff anymore, but anyway, it was canary yellow, and on the hood of the car, my Aunt Dee Dee scratched her telephone number. Now, this is a true story. Most people would have been upset by that. When she did it, she said, she calls me Chrissy. My family generally calls me Chrissy. She said, Chrissy, if you ever need me, I want you to call me, and I'm going to make sure you never lose my number. And you know what? I was not upset about that. I thought she had given me a tremendous gift. She gave me a tremendous gift. Now, I'm not suggesting you go up to your kids when they take off and scratch your number in their car. They might not appreciate it. But from my Aunt Dee Dee, I loved it. I appreciated it. It really meant a lot to me. It meant that I had a guiding angel with me as I went on my trip. And that trip for me was trying to find who I was. I can remember being on the beach, Gulf Beach. This is the Atlantic Ocean I'm talking about now, with my best friend Skipper, and I'm looking up and there's stars up there, and this one star just kept kind of like doing this blinking thing at me, and I looked at Skipper and I said, Skip, I says, I've got to go out west. I'm supposed to go out there. There's people I'm supposed to meet. There's something I got to do. Don't know what it is. 2 weeks later, well, actually 3 weeks later, poof, I was gone. Never went back. I went back to visit a couple of times, but that was it. I just followed that present moment when it happened. Okay. Why not practice being happy? For starters, your watchwords will be courtesy, compassion, and integrity towards others. To be happy, you want to monitor your conduct for any undue circumcision. Circumstances. That was scary. You know, that can only happen when you're in the moment. All right, circumstances, intolerance or rudeness, and focus on positive and loving behavior instead. Okay. Each day you'll rise, you give thanks for what you have, even if you don't have much, what your desires or think you deserve. Each morning you spend some quiet time alone, even though your schedule is blistering at the seams and requires all kinds of activity. To strangers and acquaintances alike, you will be a model of patience and caring, offering smiles of brightness in their day. You'll never know how your radiant smile will affect someone, and it costs you nothing at all. You can literally change someone's life with a smile. Now, how many times has someone smiled to you and it's changed the course of your day? Yeah. Isn't that amazing? You too can do that. Simply by smiling at people, you can change the course of their day. You know, when I was in the hospital, when I first got operated on, I think it's almost 3 years ago now, isn't it? Something like that. There was a young nurse. Well, she wasn't quite a nurse yet. She was kind of learning the ropes, because that's what they kind of do. And she was definitely not cut from the same granite stone as most of the nurses that were there cut from. Not saying that that was a bad thing. They were all very good at what they were doing, but she was definitely on the edge. The way she greeted people, the way she talked with people, she was just being completely herself. She was an extrovert, she was loud, but she was always happy. I was there for, I think, 7 days, 7 or 10 days, I don't remember anymore. Then I came home and I ended up with 15 blood clots in my lungs. I dodged another bullet and I'm back in the hospital again. When they figured it out when I went down there. I went to have a drainage bag removed. I didn't get it removed that day. So they put me back in the hospital and I end up in the same room, on the same floor, in the same bed. And what I had done when I left the first time, I had written this girl a note, and because she said she had, she confided in me, and she said she wasn't sure she was going to continue to do this. So I wrote her a note. Actually, I had my Nancy, my honey, write it. I just dictated it. And I left it for her. She wasn't there when I left. But when I came back, she came into the room and she thanked me. She said, you know what, I was going to quit. Your note changed my mind. And I'm glad that that happened for her, because she had the type of energy that could heal people. She just had the right stuff. So you have to stay in tune. You have to stay in that present moment. If you feel the movement, you feel the need to write somebody something, a kind word, anything, don't just think about it. Do it. Don't just think about it. Do it. If you want to say something to somebody you really appreciate, something they've done, don't let it go by. Let them know. That's how we can really change things. That's how you can really be in the presence. That's how you can really touch a person's life. Just like that. It's really nice when I don't prepare. One day after practicing being happy, you'll wake up and realize that you are happy. How about that? Okay? All that practicing being happy has become a reality, and you will have found a secret to fulfillment that so many continue to seek. So practice being happy. Practice being in the moment. Practice smiling at people. Follow your instincts. When something happens that's good, let people know. You know, I even say things to the clerks in the store when I'm going through a checkout. They're standing there for sometimes 4 or 5 hours at a time in a little teeny space. And they have to smile and say, how's it going today? You find everything you need. And you can tell sometimes they're like, oh boy, they're having a hard day. And I'll go, so I'll change it up. How's your day going? In some of the stores I go to, they all know my name. It's not a bar, it's a store. But I'm really comfortable there, and I know how many of them have kids, and if they're married, that kind of thing. Share who you are with the people you come in contact, and your life will benefit too. Not only theirs, but so will yours. Okay, I think I'm done. So, I'll give it over.
That's okay. You're awake now. Communion is our opportunity to commune. When we're listening, we're sharing in that, we're communing with one another, like minds. And this gives us another opportunity to commune in a different way. To physically acknowledge that spiritual nourishment that we've received. If you happen to be a follower of the way, it's a reminder that the debt has been paid and we're free to be who we really are. So would you join us in prayer, please? Loving Spirit of light, thank you for walking with us in everything. And we ask that you help us be in the now, be in the moment. Help us to be in our lives and help us to be happy. Help us with that choice every day. These things we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen. As that continues around, join us in prayer again, please. Loving Spirit of light, as we drink this in, help us to drink in the truth. Drink in the truth of the love that we are, the light that we are, and help us to live that. These things we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen.
You want something?
I was going to
Volunteer.
insist. You know, I've talked about the child self, and and gratitude, and how we can turn our canoe around with gratitude and seek the blessings that gratitude shows us are in our lives. And so the point I guess I wanted to make this morning is that the child self is impressed by physical objects. So if you put a physical object in these baskets, then it impresses the child self to feel deserving of the things, more things for which we have gratitude. Thank you.
Well said. Thank you. We probably need to hear more about the child self. Maybe put you on the calendar here, girl. Okay. We'll give that a second. I'm really glad to be here. I love this place, don't you? While that's going around, just wanted to, real quick, if you see a frown on my face, I'm not angry. I'm not angry at you. I'm not angry at Phil. I'm not angry at world events. I've been in pain this week. You know, I have health issues, and sometimes they flare up, and sometimes there's pain, and it'll register in my face. So don't take it personally. And if you do happen to see pain on my face or you see a frown, check it out with me. If I'm upset or I'm angry, then we need to be clear, because that's being in the moment. And it doesn't hurt my...
You're upset, I know.
See, I really try to live in the moment and be really clear and not just stuff stuff under the counter. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you, because I know sometimes you have pain in your face, and I see it and I feel it. Just reminding you, don't take it personally. If you see pain in my face, you don't have to fix it. I have my own process that I do. Just hold sacred space for me and know that I love you for that. So thank you. If I do need assistance, I'll ask. I'm really good at asking. I've learned. It's been a long time coming, but I've learned how to ask for help. So just hold sacred space for me. And if you think I'm angry with you, ask me, because it's way okay with me to get clear. That's really important for me. So let's do a guided meditation, shall we?